YouTube is about to change forever, and it doesn't matter if you're running a B2B agency or you have a coaching program or you're just trying to build your personal brand. As we speak, we're heading into a new era. And the good thing is that right now, it's a level playing field. Anyone has the ability to win on YouTube today. Now, I've been able to pick up on these huge shifts because I'm in the YouTube trenches all day, working with 6- and 7-figure companies on YouTube, helping them build their YouTube client acquisition systems. And in this video, I'm going to walk you through the 7 key shifts that I'm seeing happening already on YouTube that I think are going to be massive in the next year. So the first shift I'm about to reveal is going to completely shatter pretty much everything you thought you knew about YouTube for businesses. And it's happening faster than most people realize. So YouTube is getting saturated for B2B content. YouTube is no longer this blue ocean for business channels that everyone keeps talking about. This is going to sound crazy, right? Because literally just 2 years ago, people were saying YouTube was this like untapped goldmine for B2B companies. And now it's getting crowded pretty fast. So let me exactly explain what I mean. So every B2B founder I talk to nowadays sees YouTube as an essential, right, for their go-to-market strategy. For example, just last week, I was on a sales call with a multi-7-figure business owner who's been running his business for 30+ years and is now looking to start a YouTube channel to scale to 8 figures, right? And the reason he gave me was because his competitors are getting all the high-quality leads, and he wants to essentially become a content-oriented business. But there's one problem at the moment, right? AI-generated content is flooding the platform. Tools like ChatGPT and Claude are making it easier than ever to go from literally a blank page to somewhat a coherent script in a matter of seconds. So of course, we're seeing an explosion of generic how-to videos, right? And just templated business advice doesn't actually get you anywhere. So the consequence is that if you're only posting basic tutorials or recycled, industry points, you're going to get buried in the noise, right? And the value of generic content is being driven to basically zero because anyone can create it, right? But there is hope, if you can create truly valuable content and actually show your expertise and create content that the AI can't replicate because it's based on actual stuff and your actual experience, you'll stand out more. But what I'm about to show you next is the complete opposite of what pretty much every YouTube expert out here has been preaching for years, right? And it's the reason why some channels are like exploding at the moment while others are just completely dying. So the second major shift is that YouTube is rewarding channels that go deep into specific verticals rather than trying to appeal to everyone. So the algorithm is now favoring channels that consistently serve a narrow, highly engaged audience over those chasing just broader reach, right? And this means if you're, let's say, creating content around SaaS, or specifically you have a B2B SaaS business, or you coach someone on how to scale their B2B SaaS businesses, and this is like a client we have, for example, you're way better off creating content specific niche in B2B SaaS rather than being a generic SaaS, YouTuber, right? Or just even, a step back from that, being a generic marketing YouTuber. And as I said, I've seen this firsthand with our clients. The ones who niche down and dominate a specific vertical are getting better reach, better engagement, and obviously, most importantly, better qualified leads. And the reason for this is obviously quite simple. Basically, when you upload a video to YouTube, it pushes it to your existing subscribers, right? And if these people are just generic subscribers that aren't really that interested in your specific niche, they won't engage with that video. And let's say they won't click on it, right? But if you have a smaller amount of subscribers, but when the video gets pushed, there's a higher click-through rate, meaning your subscribers actually think your content is valuable, YouTube will see that as an indication that you're creating good content, right? And then from there, they'll push it to more and more people. But if your subscriber count and the people on your channel are essentially just non-viewers, YouTube will see that as an indication that your videos aren't good, right? So this is why it's a lot better to have a smaller channel with a specific niche audience rather than, all these subscribers, but none of them really care about what you're uploading. So the platform therefore is essentially forcing B2B creators to pick a lane and just dominate it, right? Because scattered content across multiple industries and viewer demographics just gets buried, while laser-focused expertise gets amplified, right? So the third shift I'm seeing right now is something that most people aren't talking about, right? And yet the smartest B2B channels are using organic uploads as testing grounds for paid ads. So instead of guessing what to advertise, they're letting their organic performance and data guide their ad spend decisions, right? So here's how this works. You publish a video to YouTube organically, and then you wait to see which videos get stronger engagement, obviously, from the target audience, And those are the ones that you take, those are the winners, and you push them with either YouTube ads to expand reach on YouTube to find more qualified prospects, or you create ads on like Facebook using the same angle that made that video perform. And this works because therefore you're not like just gambling with your ad spend on unproven content. You're literally just amplifying what already resonates with your audience. Now, by the way, if you're a business owner only over 20K per month and you want some help implementing a done-for-you YouTube system and the strategies I'm sharing in this video to build your own client acquisition system, just click the link in the description to book a call with me to see if you're qualified to work with us. So here's where it gets like super interesting, right? There's this one hidden metric on YouTube that YouTube cares way more about than views, subscribers, and it's completely changing how successful channels are operating in 2025. Now, the fourth shift I'm seeing is that YouTube is prioritizing channels that build engaged communities over those just chasing raw view counts, right? And this is a fundamental shift in how the platform elevates success. This means your channel needs to focus on creating content that generates discussions and builds authority and nurtures long-term relationships, right? Rather than just optimizing for vanity metrics off the bat, like views, subscribers. Because the channels that are winning at the moment are the ones where viewers feel like they're actually part of something, right? And where they're getting, behind the scenes insights and actually building relationships with the creator and other viewers, like in the comments, for example. And this plays into something that we call viewer satisfaction. And this is the #1 metric on YouTube that YouTube is looking at when they decide if they're going to actually push your video to new audiences or just stay how it is, right? And essentially, viewer satisfaction is a measurement of how well people actually resonated and enjoyed your video. And this is determined by a number of things, and this is how it plays back into the engagement factor. YouTube looks at viewer satisfaction. They're looking at retention of people watching your videos through. They're looking at the like to dislike ratio, because that's obviously a pretty simple indicator of whether people actually like the content. And then they're looking at the comments. Are you actually getting comments and engagement on your videos? Because all of these indicators are going to tell YouTube that your videos are, satisfying viewers. And then from that, they're going to push your videos to more people based on that. Now, the fifth shift is that successful business channels are diversifying beyond just, straight talking heads. So they're incorporating different videos like case study breakdowns, behind the scenes content, client interviews, podcasts, and even live Q&A sessions. And the algorithm basically rewards channels that can capture attention across different viewer preferences and consumption habits, right? Because some people want, quick tips, other people want, strategic deep breakdowns, and others want to see real results, right? Real case studies. So the channels that are crushing it right now have content for all these different consumption habits and preferences within their specific niche. So therefore, in your content strategy, you need to diversify and actually have a combination of content rather than just one style. Now, the next shift is that YouTube is basically moving away from linear YouTube funnels to content flywheels that basically create compounding growth, right? So what most B2B channels do is they think as YouTube as like a straight line, right? You post videos, you get views, and maybe you get some leads. But that's just not how it works. Because the smartest channels are building flywheels where every piece of content feeds multiple growth mechanisms. So you post a case study video and those comments become your next video topics. And that video drives email subscribers who give you feedback for future content, right? That's how you should be doing it. Because then what you end up with is a self-reinforcing system where older videos continue driving new discovery, which then creates engagement on recent content, which signals authority to the algorithm, right? And then they push your content to more people. And essentially what this does is create compounding growth instead of linear on your channel. And this is what you need to be doing. And finally, this last shift is perhaps the most counterintuitive of all, because it pretty much goes against every piece of viral content advice you've ever heard. But it's the real secret to actually having long-term success on YouTube. So the final shift is that YouTube's algorithm is increasingly favoring channels that maintain steady, predictable publishing schedules over those chasing viral videos. So B2B channels that post consistently, even with low view counts, are getting long-term better reach and subscriber quality than channels that are sporadically just posting once every while and hoping to hit big. So the platform now prioritizes basically sustained audience engagement and retention metrics over explosive one-time performance. And this means your worst performing video this month might actually help your best performing video next month get more distribution, because you're proving to the algorithm that you're actually consistent and a reliable content creator. So that's how you can capitalize on the latest YouTube changes and use them to successfully build authority and actually generate leads in your niche. Of course, everything that I gave you is more of a high level overview of how to adapt to these platform changes in 2025. There are a lot more details and things that I didn't go over in this video. So if you do actually want to learn completely everything step by step, how to build a successful YouTube flywheel strategy to actually scale your business, then click on the video on the screen right now, check out the full training. Again, just click that video and that'll take you straight to the video over there. Peace.